Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com, and Michigan has scored a big win on the recruiting trail. Before we dive into that, I do want to remind you guys to subscribe to the Wolverine.com today for just $29.99 until August 31st of this year. That gets you premium insider recruiting information, team information, basketball recruiting, NIL, transfer portal, and so much more. Plus, you get to be part of a great message board community over on the Fort, all for just $29.99 until August 31st. And, of course, that gets you through spring football, basketball season, and the summer official visit season. So now is the time to take advantage of our limited time offer, $29.99 for a subscription to the Wolverine.com until August 31st of 2023. So this year, make sure to subscribe now. All right, like I said, guys, Michigan has picked up a big win on the recruiting trail. Another elite level prospect in the 2025 recruiting class. I know that seems so far away. You know, we just brought in the new year here in 2023. So 2025 seems like there's forever to go until the end of that cycle. But the Wolverines off to a hot start. Remember, if you don't follow Michigan's future classes too closely, the Wolverines already have a commitment from top 100 defensive back Chris Ewald out of Florida. This time around, Michigan landed a commitment from Georgia linebacker Mantrez Walker out of powerhouse Buford. That school is home to several other Division I prospects, so getting Walker on board will be important in the future, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and discuss this recruitment. Now, why Walker, a Southeast kid with SEC offers, why would he pick Michigan this early, right? Not that Michigan can't win battles down in SEC territory, but a 2025 kid with SEC offers making the decision this early to decide to go to an out-of-state and out-of-region program doesn't add up too much, but Walker has always loved the University of Michigan. It's a program he's always admired. As soon as he picked up an offer from Michigan, the Wolverines began trending in the right direction, and then they had him on campus for an unofficial visit, and it was really there where Michigan made the move and really caught his attention, really moved the needle for his family. Walker got an in-depth look at the program, the campus, the facilities, the education, and it all kind of just added up for him. Like I said, it is earlier than would be expected. And again, Michigan is capable after winning back-to-back Big Ten titles, after getting back to the college football playoff yet again, beating Ohio State for a second straight year. It's obviously capable of winning battles in SEC country, but to do it this early is pretty impressive. Walker ended up picking Michigan over finalist Florida, LSU, and Penn State. But again, it goes back to that visit. He had a great meeting with head coach Jim Harbaugh. Some of you guys may remember that a tweet went viral of Harbaugh with a recruit in his office, and he had the Everything I Like About Ohio State or something along those lines book on his coffee table. And that recruit was and the book had blank pages, and that recruit was actually Mantrez Walker. So they had an individual meeting with Jim Harbaugh. His parents were really impressed, and I think Jesse Minter deserves a ton of credit here. Now, I've said this in more recent podcasts, but we're still not giving Jesse Minter enough credit on the recruiting trail. Now, Mike Macdonald was a terrific football mind. In his short time here, he was a very, very detailed evaluator. I had a chance to see that close up at various satellite camps. But he wasn't really ingrained in recruiting. He hadn't done a whole lot of it. I honestly feel like Mike Macdonald would have been a really good recruiter had he stayed at the collegiate level. He was capable of doing so, but he didn't have a lot of experience in it. Jesse Minter's different. This was a guy that at a lower level, at his previous stops, was the Sun Belt Recruiter of the Year, I believe, at Georgia State. So he's a guy that has done it before. He has ties to the Peach State. He's always recruited the state of Georgia and specifically the Atlanta area and surrounding suburbs. So Minter's a guy with Southeast ties. He obviously, before he came out to Michigan, he coached at Vanderbilt, and so he has ties in the state of Tennessee as well. But he's been making a huge push in the state of Georgia ever since arriving at Michigan. And I feel like we talk so much about the specific position coaches, but Jesse Minter was extremely involved in the recruitment of Mantrez Walker. He's been extremely involved in the recruitment of several Peach State prospects. So Minter was very, very key in helping the Wolverines win over Mantrez Walker. Now, there's a lot going on in terms of staff rumors with Chris Partridge coming in. George Hilo status up in the air based on what you want to believe right now. Nothing official there. But even if Hilo is no longer part of the program, and Hilo is very involved in the recruitment of Walker as well, I think Minter has built a great relationship there. I think he's shown Walker what he can be on film, and that's certainly appealing to him. And then on top of that, like I said, Jim Harbaugh had the personal meeting with him and his family, and I think that helped as well. But I think Jesse Minter deserves a ton of credit for recruiting Walker, helping the Wolverines get him early, and starting to really make a dent in Georgia. And Michigan's been able to recruit there in the past, but to have success at a power program can lead to even more success, obviously. And so you win a kid over at Buford that's a 2025 kid. Well, hey, that opens the door for some more talent at that school. And in 2024, it's home to the nation's #1 safety, KJ Bolden, who's actually visited Michigan in the past. It's home to 4-star cornerback Tyshun White, who is now trying to make a visit as well. It's home to several other prospects. Buford consistently churns out Division I level talent. I'm extremely familiar with Buford dating back to my time on the University of Texas beat. They always have dudes. So for Michigan to get a guy out of Buford, I think it opens the door for not just getting into that program, but continuing to get into the Peach State in general. So Minter doing a fantastic job there, and getting Walker on board early is important, largely because of that. As far as Walker as a player, you put on the film, and he's a guy that definitely has speed for a linebacker. He likes to get physical. I think he fits the scheme really well. The real concern with Walker right now is his height. He's listed at 5'11", which normally I don't really care about height as an inside linebacker. I think you can be 6'1.5" and be just fine if you're a traditional Mike type or a straight inside backer. I think anything 6'1.5" to 6'2" is fine. Like it's not that huge of a deal to me. 5'11" is a little more on the short side, obviously, but remember, Walker is a 2025 recruit, so he does have time to grow. Now, every kid is different. I've been 6'1" since like the 8th grade, and I never grew. But some kids do grow later on than others, so I think there's still time to see how Walker grows from a height perspective and how his body starts to shape out as well. But right now, he projects as more of a true inside linebacker. But how about Michigan in 2025, starting off with two legitimate guys that SEC schools wanted from the Southeast? Ewald, Walker, they're both very vocal as well. I think they will be leaders for the Michigan class. Of course, the pessimists in all Michigan fans, and even, myself as a reporter, will say, well, yeah, but will they actually sign? It's 2 years away. That a lot can happen. NIL, all this other stuff. Yeah, that's a possibility. But for right now, I think you just need to enjoy the recruiting win. That's all I got, guys. Appreciate your time. Like I said before, subscribe to the Wolverine.com today for just $29.99 until August 31st.